Welcome to the Client Magnet Training. Unlock 10K in 30 days. So, before we get into the juicy stuff, I just wanted to introduce myself real quick. My name is Angie, and I am your money mindset coach. So, my journey has been challenging yet extremely rewarding, and every experience has helped me evolve to that next level. I spent 10 years in personal development and 6 years in the online space. In the beginning, struggled with depression. I was a chronic people pleaser, and I had a really shattered self esteem. I didn't really know who I was in the beginning. I didn't really have much of a voice. I didn't really trust myself when it came to making decisions for my life. So I initially pursued a degree in speech therapy due to people pleasing and my parents' expectations of me, even though it wasn't my passion and I knew that it wasn't my soul's calling. Essentially, I always say this, if you're ever in my world, the truth will always come out sooner or later, always. And I was so out of alignment pursuing this career and working in it, that I was so unhappy. I was extremely unhappy. And then on top of that, I also was in a toxic relationship. And this led me to having a breaking point. I realized that I couldn't fake it anymore. And like I had enough was enough. So I had this strong urge and desire to really go on this journey of self discovery and figure out like who I am and what life has to offer. And this is when I had my first spiritual awakening. And if you want to hear more about that story, I go in depth with it on my podcast, Flip the Script. It's available on Spotify and Apple. It's episode 1. I highly suggest go check it out. It's really, really good. But my spiritual awakening allowed me to stand up for myself. It allowed me to speak my truth, leave my career, and finally end this toxic relationship that I didn't think I was going to have the courage to do so. And finally, it helped me find my true calling. And so in my online journey, I've worked in high ticket affiliate marketing, Shopify, and now I'm in the coaching industry. So I've learned a lot. I've learned what works, definitely what doesn't work, and what clients truly want and need. And so now that you know a little bit about me, let's get started. Okay, so this next part is called Unplug from the Lack Matrix. So I'm going to share this quote. It's not enough to be in the right place at the right time. You have to be the right person in the right place at the right time. And this is such a powerful quote because what I'm talking about here is that your thinking and your beliefs is what determines your level of success. So even if the right opportunity comes to you, but you're not essentially ready to receive that, you're not going to see the opportunity. It's literally just not going to exist for you because you're not mentally there to be open to it. And if you struggle in your business to charge, if you struggle to talk about money, okay, then it's because you are operating in the poverty consciousness. You have basically a set of beliefs around money that are blocking you from attracting the wealth and the clientele that you desire. And so, how is this poverty consciousness showing up in your world? Basically, like I already said, you're undercharging or you're doing things for free all the time. You're not doing it because you're trying to collect market research or anything like that. You're doing it because you are probably in your mind saying that person can't afford it, or you're saying stuff like, who's gonna buy something from me at this price type deal. So you have these thoughts going on in your mind. You're living as the starving artist or healer stereotype. You're saying yes to clients, but you're saying yes to clients that aren't truly aligned with you. And you're taking whatever comes basically into your world, into your space. And this is causing you to get stressed out, get overwhelmed, get burnt out, right? And then on top of that, you're also overcommitting your time and your energy. You got to understand, like, your energy and your time is so valuable. And if you're in the poverty consciousness, you're overcommitting. You're doing more than you should be. You're working harder, not smarter. And you're also hesitating to promote yourself or your work, whatever service is that you have. And because you have some story in your mind that, oh, I don't want to bother people. I don't want people to think I'm being too salesy. I don't want this, and this. You're worried about what the outside world thinks instead of focusing on your business, instead of focusing on treating your this passion that you have as a business, because it is. If you said yes to being an entrepreneur, you said yes to being a business person. If you said yes to being a healer, yes to being an artist, a creative, a coach, you said yes to having a business. So do you ever wonder why some people win the lottery and then lose it all? I'm sure you guys have heard those type of stories. And the reason why that happens, because again, just because you have more money doesn't mean that you're essentially going to be successful with it. It doesn't mean that you're set for life, because at the end of the day, it's going to depend on what's going on in here. Money money doesn't change you. Money, it just amplifies who you already are. So if you're a person that doesn't know how to handle money, or you're a person that is an overspender, or you're a person that, is extremely already like an asshole, well, guess what? You're going to just be more of that. Money just amplifies that. And so the reason why people lose it all is because they are operating, when they received that money, they're already operating in the poverty consciousness. So guess what? It's going to amplify that same behavior, because they never changed their actual belief system. So something that I want to clarify here is that money is a result. Wealth is a result. Ideal clients is a result. It's a result of your belief system. Okay, so how you're thinking, whatever thoughts are going on behind the scenes, you can't see it externally, but it's going on internally. Whatever is happening in here is why you're getting these results. So if you're not attracting the money, if you're not attracting the wealth, if you're not attracting the ideal clients, it's because you have some sort of story inside of you that you need to be aware of. So the first step to unplug from the lack matrix is to simply become aware. That is literally like the first step, okay? So I challenge you to take out a journal and ask yourself these questions. What are your habits around money? What are your fears around money? What are your beliefs around money? And are they actually your beliefs, or did you learn them along the way from your parents, from your caregivers, from your family members? And what are you gaining? This is a powerful one. What are you gaining from those limiting beliefs? Because a lot of times we have a tendency, and it's natural, we all do this because we're not taught to be wealthy. You got to understand that we're not taught to be wealthy. We're taught to stay in the lack mentality. We're taught to stay in the poverty consciousness. And so when I say, what are you gaining from those limiting beliefs? Like, you got to ask yourself, like, why have you been hiding behind whatever limiting belief is that you have? What has that been giving to you by holding on to that certain excuse? Like, for example, oh, I don't want to promote myself because, I'm afraid that people are going to think I'm salesy, or people are going to be bothered by it. Why? So then you got to ask yourself, okay, like, why am I hiding behind that belief system? I know that that's not true, right? I know that that's not true. So why am I hiding behind that? And it could be maybe you have a fear of rejection. It could be that maybe you have a fear of being seen. So by playing small and not promoting yourself, You don't need to be seen. You don't need to be rejected, even though in a sense you're rejecting yourself. So again, by observing yourself, you will start to awaken the truth rather than being ran by the old programming from the past, which more than likely you learned from your childhood. A lot of things that we do now as an adult is because we somewhere along the line picked it up as a child, because when we're kids, our mind is open. Our mind is very open. We're very pure hearted, and like we haven't gone through life and experiences, and it's through childhood that we learn, oh, you can't do that, and you get in trouble for certain things and this and that. So pay attention to that. I challenge you to truly ask yourself these thought-provoking questions, because most people don't ask themselves these questions. Most people don't. And yes, it may bring up some stuff for you, but trust me that it's through the pain, it's through the release that you gain the clarity, that you make space for the clients to come, for the money to come. But you first have to like get rid of this gunk that's in there. Okay. Now the next part is called irresistible converting offer. Is a big one. So you want to attract your ideal clients, right? And your ideal clients are searching in the internet for that offer that just, gets them so fired up. But the issue here, the disconnect, is that you're not really putting yourself in your customer's shoes. You're thinking about you, but you're not thinking about the customer, the client. So you have to stop being too general, because a lot of times when your messaging is too broad, then what happens is that you begin to blend in with everyone else. Okay. There's hundreds or thousands of healers, there's thousands of coaches, there's thousands of creatives. It's like, so if you're general, you're just going to get lost amongst everybody else. And I always like to ask this question, and are you trying to be Walmart and appease to everybody, everybody, or are you trying to be Gucci? Like which one, And it doesn't mean that just because you're trying to be Gucci, right, that you cannot have Walmart clients from time to time, but you got to think about like, it's important for you to make money. Money is essential. If you're on this path, it's because you want to make money for yourself, doing something that you love, right? But if you're not making any money, you're not sharing your services, you're not really helping anybody. So that's why it's important, okay, to get specific. You have to, like, you may have all these cool certificates, and I've fallen down this rabbit hole of getting certificate, thinking that that's what's going to make me more valuable, but it doesn't. It does not make you more valuable. Okay, because at the end of the day, your customer, I'm just going to say it, I know it may sound harsh, but they don't care. They could care less about how many certificates you have. All your customers truly care about, and all the things that they're really focused on, is what results can you get them right now. That's why I said you got to put yourself in your customer's shoes. Something I see too often is that many spiritual healers and coaches have way too many options for their services. They have a website, and then you got to go hunting to figure out where the services are. Or they have their services, but they literally have like 5, 10 different types of services. And this is a red flag, first of all, for your customer. And it's a complete turn off. It's a turn off. I know you're excited about it, but not your customer. Because what you're actually doing is you are confusing your customer and causing them to click out. They go in and they see all this and they're like, oh my God, I am overwhelmed. I can't even decide. I don't even know What service is good for me? You think they're going to come and ask you? Probably not, because now they're completely overwhelmed and they're like, I just want to get out of here. I want to go back to my scrolling, you know? And I've seen this way too many times. So what do you do next? So my advice to you, my suggestion to you is condense your offerings. You don't need to showcase all your skill sets all over the place. Like, no one cares. That's the honest truth when it comes to marketing. Like, no one cares about all that. It just becomes fluff. So learn to condense your offerings, level up your services, and stop undercharging. Because something that I see is that all these people, some healers and coaches, they get all these certificates, and then they have a service for each certificate that they got. And that's not necessary. That's not necessary. Trust me, less is more. Okay, less is more. Get specific and clear. Why should someone bother purchasing your offer? What's the end result that you're trying to get your customer to? And then also become a shameless promoter. You do not benefit anybody by holding yourself back. Let me say that one more time. You do not benefit anybody by holding yourself back. Nowadays, people need to hear things at least 8 times before they actually purchase something. Okay? So be a shameless promoter. Remember, the online space is very distracting. There's always something happening. And so people need to repetition is key. Alrighty. Now, the next section here is authentic magnetic marketing. So it kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about. If you are speaking to everyone versus your ideal client, you're not going to make sales. Okay? By being generic is ensuring that you are of no value to anyone. And I know that can sting, but it's the honest truth. You have to think about, like, how do consumers buy? Okay? This is how you get friend zoned very quickly versus people in your DMs asking you, how can they work with you? So if you're a service provider, a coach, or a creative, it's about allowing your uniqueness to shine through your posts and your services. You know, what makes you different? Don't copy people. You can go to people's pages and get inspired, but what makes you different? How can you incorporate that into the posts that you make? The era of Kim K lookalikes is literally starting to come to an end. Like, people are starting to, like, really wake up to that. I've been seeing a huge shift in marketing. I've been seeing a huge shift on the online space, how much has been changing. People want the real. People want honesty. People want vulnerability. Doesn't mean you have to share everything about yourself, but just pick just a few stories that people can relate to. All right. So here's an example of my page of posts that I've made. And some of the things that stand out on my page is my curly hair. So I really embrace my natural curly hair. I love raving. I'm a techno trans girl. So my boyfriend is a techno producer, so so no wonder. But yeah, I like to showcase my raver side, whether I'm dancing or I put, like, my cute little ears that I love, as you can see over here. And I'm playing with, like, the hoop and stuff. So I really like to show that playful side of myself. And then nature is huge for me. And so I love showcasing that as well. And so people, like, love to connect and they can feel the vibe. What is the vibe that you're trying to portray to people? You want to allow parts of you that people can relate to. Your ideal audience, understand, like, they want to connect with you, but you have to be willing, right? You're the entrepreneur, okay? You're the leader in your space. So you have to be willing to open up. You have to be willing to get clear on your messaging. And you have to be able to show that you embody the work to create that magnetic pull that you desire. All right. And so we're going to go into the bonus section here. It's going to be an energetic hack. So something I love doing is EFT tapping. Like I said, we just worked through a couple things, and I know you're going to go through some of your limiting beliefs and stuff like that. And sometimes that stuff can be a little bit heavy. And sometimes you're putting yourself out there and you may not be getting certain things. Certain things are just not moving for you in the moment. And that's when the limiting beliefs can kind of get a little loud, right? The inner critic. So this is what EFT tapping. We're going to do a client magnet quickie over here. We're going to tap through some points. And with EFT tapping, you can see these are the points that we're going to be tapping through on our body, and you're going to follow along with me. And basically EFT tapping is like acupuncture, but without the needles. We're tapping on certain pressure points, right? And so before we begin, I just want you to take a moment. It doesn't have to be anything serious, but just take a moment to rate yourself from a scale of 1 to 10 on how do you feel about calling in more clients. 1 being that it's completely unattainable. And then if it's a 10, that means that you are a client magnet. You know that you are, and you can still do the tapping and it'll just amplify that energy that you already have. So once you have that number, we're going to get started. I'm just going to pause here real quick because I really want you. Alrighty, so now you can see me a little bit better. And we're going to go through this quick EFT tapping round. So what you're going to follow along. You're going to tap over here and just repeat after me. Let's see here. Okay. Even though I have doubts and fears about attracting my ideal clients, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have doubts and fears about attracting my ideal clients, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have doubts and fears about attracting my ideal clients, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Perfect. All right, now we're going to tap through the points, starting with the eyebrow. And you can do one with one hand, or you can do it with both. It doesn't really matter. It works both ways. Alrighty. So I am open to attracting my ideal clients. I trust in my ability to be seen by those who need my services. I am a client magnet. I am confident in my value and what I offer. I am attracting clients who appreciate and value my work. I am visible to those who need my help. I am confident in my marketing efforts. I trust in my ability to attract and retain my ideal clients. Perfect. So that's just a quick round of EFT tapping, and you can repeat that part 2 or 3 times to really get the energy moving, really get that feeling, right? And then what you do at the end is you rate yourself and you ask yourself, okay, how do I feel? Like, do I still feel like I rated myself 5 before? Do I still feel that 5, or has that gone up for me? And when you do it a couple times, let's say you did it just 2 times and you still feel like you're in the low end, it didn't really go up by much, then that means you got to tap a little bit more. And we also go deeper in that when you do a full EFT tapping series. And then, so that was a bonus energetic hack. So thank you so much for doing that with me. And let's talk about the offer that I have here for you. Amazing opportunity where you can schedule a free Social Spark business audit. So I know we went through some really big things in helping you move that needle forward in your business so you can unlock 10K in 30 days. By doing those shifts, This is what brings that wealth, that abundance, those opportunities into your life. You'll be surprised on how quickly the money can start coming through when you make those shifts that we talked about. But if you need some help to maybe figure out your offers, or maybe you want me to look at your social media, definitely schedule this free business audit. Again, no strings attached. You'll get a personal review from me, and you'll get feedback from me as well, where we can see what how can we align your business with your authentic self? How can we really allow that to shine through? And I can figure out what current systems are working, what current systems are not working, and kind of see what gaps are holding you back. And then also kind of just understanding like what's repelling your customers right now as well, and causing you to lose money. So why does this matter? Because again, you are your brand. You are the face of your brand. And when you operate from a place of authenticity and confidence, you magnetize, like I said, opportunities, creative juices start to flow through, and prosperity starts to come through. So this is your year to shine and prosper, and I would love to help be a part of that journey. So definitely you can click the link here in this PDF, and I think there's going to be a link down in the bottom as well, or you shoot me a DM, say Spark, and we can talk a little bit more. All right, have a good one.